to different type of method, we have qualitative, quantitative, mixed method. The choice of this method depend on what type of research question we have. We might have different type of research question, and according to the need of the research question, according to the topic area we are selecting, the research method depend upon that. It might be qualitative, quantitative, or mixed method. Even in social sciences, I wanted to connect you to social sciences. In social sciences, if you have to use qualitative, then the question comes like how, why those phenomena are occurring, why those things are occurring, how those things are occurring. Such questions are asked, and your purpose is to explore perception, what type of opinion people have about those, and how people experience those conditions. So they share perception, opinion, and experiences in the case of qualitative research method. However, in quantitative, you have certain hypothesis you wanted to test. There is some certain relationship you want to check, or there might be a relationship between dependent and independent variable, so you might want to test. This quantitative, it might be applied on social sciences, or it might be related to any other natural sciences, forestry, wildlife, or any other medical or engineering. Quantitative can be used because even qualitative is used first, but you wanted to see the socio-economic aspect in qualitative. However, in quantitative can be used in social sciences as well as other natural sciences. And your main aim is to generalize finding to a large population. You wanted to generalize something by using quantitative. However, mixed method, it is the mixed approach of both qualitative and quantitative. You try to explore from multiple perspectives. You wanted to see the quantitative aspect, and you wanted to observe the quantitative and observe as well as the qualitative aspect or people perception, how and why those things are occurring, why that test is significant, why that those things are happening. So you wanted to explore more on those, so you combine qualitative insight with statistical data, and you make your result more comprehensive in the case of mixed method. And in terms of qualitative, usually how you design your research question or how you design your objective in qualitative, you usually write, you want to exploring something. Your objective will be to explore something. Your objective will be to understand something. You wanted to develop something. So you work on participant setting. You work according to how participant want to share their ideas. And usually in science, inductive and deductive process. So in qualitative, you try to use the inductive process. And your aim is not to generalize, but you wanted to study the specific component. You move to the observation. You directly go in the field, you see the observation, you wanted some specific component in qualitative, so you use inductive approach. And your report is more flexible, not like pure hard and fast statistic, not like test significance hypothesis. It might be descriptive, inferential. You don't go with that. You write your report on your own. It might be quotations, it might be narrative, or you might also sometime bring some content analysis out of those. However, in quantitative, your aim is to test something, or you wanted to examine something, you wanted to, replicate something or validate something, you use quantitative approach. And your quantitative reporting is fixed. You do your descriptive, inferential, you write your result, you write your discussion. It's fixed approach. And your aim is the deductive approach, because you go from theory to, you use the theory and you test the theory, and you wanted to generalize something out of those. So your aim is to test a theory in the case of quantitative. However, in qualitative, your aim is to develop some theory. So developing comes in qualitative. However, testing comes in quantitative. And mixed mean you wanted to integrate both. It might be qualitative first, quantitative second, or quantitative first, qualitative second, or you wanted to do all of them together. So in that approach, your mixed method can be stepwise, or it might be convergent, which can be done together. Yeah, in terms of example of quantitative, you all know experimental design in natural sciences, biological sciences, or in social sciences, you can use experimental design for quantitative. If you are doing social sciences or if you are doing social study, you can do survey, non-experimental design as well, or you can do questionnaire, you can fill questionnaire, you can take responses from people, but there will be multiple choice answers and people have fixed answer to give on quantitative. However, qualitative, it might be narrative approach, phenomenological approach, it might be grounded theory approach, ethnographic approach, or case study approach. There are different type of qualitative you can use. And in mixed method, you combine both. Conversion mean you apply qualitative and quantitative. You collect the data together and you merge and integrate the data together and synthesize some finding from the merging of both. The conversion mean you do it together, integrate together, and find something out of those integration. So that is convergent. Explanatory mean you do quantitative first, you do survey, you find your answer, you test your hypothesis. Now you wanted to see why that hypothesis is happening, why that phenomena is occurring, why that test is showing that result. You wanted to do more interviews, you wanted to get in-depth answer of that, you use explanatory. However, in the case of exploratory, first you do qualitative, you do interviews, you do focus group discussion, you might do photo elicitation method, you can do observation, you find out something from there, and with the help of those findings, with the help of those themes, with the help of those content, you try to develop a questionnaire. And you use those, findings to develop a questionnaire, and you try to test using a quantitative method. That is a exploratory. In exploratory, qualitative comes first. However, in explanatory sequential, quantitative comes first. So that is the stepwise sequential process. However, in the concept of transformative, embedded, multi-phase, sometimes one research method you give priority to survey, and just you embed a qualitative in that, or you give more priority to quantitative and you just embed a quantitative section to that. So that is an embedded type of study, especially 4 type of mixed method you will apply. And I will not go more on those, how quantitative mix and qualitative they differs. We all know quantitative is theory based, it's predetermined. You have the theory, everything is predetermined, now you wanted to test it. So predetermined. However, qualitative might bring some emerging trend. It might not, something new can be emerged, something new can be brought because you are taking a perception of people, you are observing phenomena directly, so something might emerge. However, in the case of mixed method, you use the both approach. You immerse something and test that, or you test something and you wanted to find why that is happening. So that is mixed method. And mixed method is also important because sometimes qualitative doesn't answer everything. Quantitative also doesn't give everything. So you might need to answer why that quantitative is happening. What is the reason behind that? You have to use mixed method. And you sometimes you get a qualitative answer. You might need to apply to more people. You might need to generalize that qualitative finding. So in that case also you can apply mixed method. So qual first or quant first, it depends upon what type of question you are trying to answer. So mixed method also depend. And in the case of qualitative, your questionnaire or your response are semi-structure or open-ended type of question you ask. However, in quantitative, closed-ended, already there are choices. It is just good, or they can only choose those options. In mixed method, it is a combination of both. So many researchers, they try to follow mixed method in social sciences. Even in biological sciences, in health sciences, nursing, they use mixed method a lot. Because whatever quantitative findings comes from a patient or a biological case, what is the reason behind that? They wanted to seek those reasons. Well, they wanted to see why that problem is occurring. For example, forest management is occurring or wildlife conservation is occurring. Why, how that wildlife conservation is possible? You can't just test that wildlife. Yeah, tiger number are increased. Those animals are increased, but you wanted to test behind why those number are increasing. How people are conserving. In that case, quantitative itself is not possible. You have to use mixed method. Even in forestry also, why people are motivated to conserve forest? Forest conservation is there. You measure the tree. You measure the forest structure, everything. But why people are interested in forest conservation? In that case, you might need to apply qualitative to identify why those things are happening. So that will give you more in-depth answer, whether people are happy with those conservation or whether those people are happy with those influences. So in biological sciences also, natural sciences also, many researchers use mixed method approach. In that case, you need to understand what is qualitative. Even you need to understand what is mixed method. Quantitative itself is never sufficient in those cases. However, it depends upon your research question. So mixed method is one of the important approach in most of the sciences. Either you need to integrate natural science, social science, or other case. And this is about philosophy. I don't want to deal more on the philosophy, ontology, all those things. You all know post-positivism, more focus on quantitative focus on more post-positivism, while however qualitative focus on constructivist or transformative approach, while mixed method focus on pragmatic approach. I don't want to teach you those philosophy over here or ontologies or what is the science behind that. I will only share you what is the importance of those, okay? Yes, these are the worldview. Post-positivism is most often seen in quantitative. You just want to test. Positivism is pure science. Okay, science says if that is happening, that will happen every time. However, post-positivism means you try to explore some social aspect behind those as well. So post-positivism is more focused on quantitative. Constructivism is qualitative is answered by constructivism. However, a mixed method we see from pragmatism. I don't want to depth more.